Press conference with our drivers for the 2024 Monaco E-Prix. Joining us is Nick Cassidy from Jaguar TCS Racing, Jean Eric Vergne from Penske, and Norman from Andretti. Well, question for all of you to begin with. We just asked some team representatives about the Gen 3 Evo launch last night. I know you guys were all there. What were your immediate thoughts? Nick?
I think the car visually is a good step forward, a nice facelift. You guys?
It's a faster car, so as a driver at the end, faster we go, better it is. So yeah, it's as Nick just said, like it's a step forward, and as they said last night as well, it's not like the full evolution. Like there will be like a big evolution for sure, the Gen 4, so it's already a step forward. They are planning us to go at least 2-3 seconds faster depending on the track, so we take it.
Jeff?
It looks the same. It looks the same, but in terms of performance, I've actually tested, and with the four-wheel drive, it actually changes quite a lot. And driving-wise, I said it already yesterday. People don't believe me, but I actually kind of enjoyed it now. So four-wheel drive actually brings you quite a bit of pace, but I think Formula E understood that. We need more pace in the car, so they're giving us maybe around 1.5 to 2.5 seconds. So it's great, but we need more, and I can see that the plan for Gen 4 also seems to be great. So we need to go faster, and we're definitely going in the right direction. So it's good.
Great. It sounds like they've listened to your guys' concerns. So looking forward to seeing what you can do on track for the next season. Nick, let's start with you. Looking ahead this weekend. I know your favourite part of the weekend is sitting here, especially at the end of the weekend, hopefully. Last season was an immaculate win here from P9, a huge moment for you in your season, your time in Formula E so far. Do you feel you're in a position to replicate that in a Jaguar car this season?
Well, it's certainly going to be tough. Last year was a magnificent career highlight for myself. Awesome to get a win here. I think with the lineup of drivers in Formula E and teams, it's very, very high level, so you never know what to expect, but certainly have decent tools at my disposal.
Started off the season very well, exceptionally well, super consistent, a couple of difficult weekends in the middle, and now off the back of a podium in Misano. Does your approach to each race change based on the previous result and feeling, or is it kind of rinse and repeat?
I think it's got to be rinse and repeat. Ultimately, we've had a pretty fast car every day so far this year. Probably the biggest missed points were Sao Paulo and Tokyo, I would say. I think we had a very fast car at those tracks. But I've been pretty lucky that every day the car is really quick, and it just keeps giving me opportunities. So hopefully we can keep that trend, and I think that's been pretty promising. It's been my most consistent season speed-wise, maybe not results-wise, but we'll see what happens in the next few races.
Something you said in the press conference at the end of Misano, which stuck with me, is you mentioned that you believe that the Nissan-powered cars would be super, super competitive here. When you said that, were you mainly referring to one-lap pace in quality, or do you think they can go toe-to-toe now and be just competitive efficiency-wise in the races too?
They've definitely proven to be super efficient in the races as well. Sao Paulo is one of the most difficult tracks from an efficiency point of view, and they won there, so two cars on the podium there, so they're definitely going to be really strong. Norman can tell you how good their car was in quality here last year. This year I think they've made a step forward as well, so certainly going to be strong. I think Jeff and the DS guys are going to be strong. Norman and the Andretti guys Porsche as well, so it's awesome in Formula E at the moment to have so many competitive teams, so many competitive packages, and it's making every day quite exciting.
That sounds a good way to put it. Norman, moving on to you. I think it's the first time we've had you here in the press conference this season, is that right?
No, it's not. It was there last year.
No, it's in a press conference this season.
This season, yeah.
Really,
Looking at the results I did so far, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well welcome, either way. Now it's been about half a season since making the move from Nissan to Andretti. How do you think the season's been going so far?
No, yeah, honestly in terms of pure performance, I feel like I made a step forward, especially in a race where for me the big change coming from Nissan was energy management, to get used to the Porsche powertrain as well, and all the setting on steering wheel, communication with the team is something which is really, really important now in Formula E. It's about a lot about strategy, and from track like Misano, where honestly, like in one lap, you can gain almost 5 or 10 position. Communication is really important also, like setup of the car, energy management. As I said, it's things at the beginning of the year where I felt like in Saudi, for example, where Jake won the race and I finished P6. The car could have made a better result than what I've done. I was just, not so comfortable with everything yet. I felt that I was not fully ready yet to do a podium, which now for 4 races, even if it didn't really turn it into like big results, like in terms of pace and performance, I feel like I made a step forward and I found like my happy spot with staging car setup. So fortunately, didn't turn like last weekend in Misano in race 1. We were I think in a good mix to finish at least top 5 or maybe for a podium and got a puncture. Race 2 was a bit of a mess, but pace honestly was great. So hopefully this weekend we can turn in a good position and score big points for the championship.
Both you and Jake have seemingly had your difficulties in qualifying, kind of one lap pace so far this season. Not in every race, but in a majority of them, I would say. Giving yourself a lot more work to do during the race, which in places like Misano, there's obviously opportunities to make a lot of places, but other circuits isn't so much the case. Firstly, what do you put that down to, that kind of deficit of pace in qualifying? And are you able to rectify that now, considering what you were able to achieve in qualifying here last season?
It's a good question, to be honest. We're still trying to find out why we're struggling in qualifying more than what we did last year and also beginning of the season. Like in Saudi, day 1, we were both cars making it to the duel, and day 2 we were like nowhere. Like we were P15 and P18 and we didn't change much on the car, to be honest. So yeah, it feels like we're still lacking a bit of consistency in qualifying. That's the main target for us this season, especially for this weekend. I mean, if you start around P8, P10 in Monaco, you're still fine, I would say. But if you can start in the top 5, it's for sure in a better spot. So yeah, last year I had a really good qualifier, as Nick said. Like the Nissan car on this track, I think will be really, really strong. The package was strong last year. Not in race, I would say. In race was like in terms of efficiency, but so far this year they made a huge step forward. I'm not really surprised at what they do on one lap because the car was already working really well last year. But on our side, yeah, I would say that probably like the window with the tires, something at the moment we're struggling a bit to put everything. Plus on braking as well, we still lacking some confidence with Jake. But like everything can turn on so quickly in Formula E. So we had a difficult result in Misano in qualifying, and in race we were quite strong. And in Monaco, hopefully we can have a good qualifying, but again, you can't predict anything, so we'll see that tomorrow.
So just to contextualise the team season, you're 16 points behind Jaguar in the team standings. Porsche are only 4 points behind you guys. What do you think is possible here then for you and the team?
I think it's possible to win at the end. So far, as I said, I didn't score big points. I feel that the performance is there. Qualifying, but even in race, and so far it's Jake who scores a big point. So even in Tokyo we managed to score quite a good amount of points with both cars by playing like a good team strategy. And also if you look at what I did last year as well, second part of the season, I've been really strong. So when you start to have both cars scoring big points, at the end everything can turn around pretty quickly. So I'm pretty confident that big points on my side will come, and I'm pretty confident as well that Jake will continue what he did last year, what he did since the beginning of the season. So we should be in a fight, I think, to fight for a good position at the end.
Cool. Jeff, moving on to you. You're now the highest scoring Formula E driver. You can add that to your 100 races, your 1,000 points, and your other accolades in Formula E. But I imagine you might think there could have been more on the table so far this season. How would you summarise how things have gone?
I think we improved quite significantly the pace of our car this year. Last year qualifying was very difficult. I think we've had some very strong results in this year's qualifying. Races have been a bit more tough. A few missed opportunities for strong points, but yeah, I think I'm only 6th in the championship, but not very too far from the leaders. Season is very long. We have a good package. I don't know if it's the best, but I think it's a package good enough at least to go and fight for the championship. So I'm very confident that with all the work we put in with the team and the performance that we've shown this year, that we can, go and get strong points at every race weekend.
Now you're another driver who knows what it feels like to win in Monaco, especially with your lights to flag victory in season 5. Last season you had also another big grid climb, P22 to 7, 8? So it was a huge climb. Now that would surprise a lot of people when you're thinking about racing in Monaco, that something like that would be possible here. So now looking ahead to this weekend, what do you make of your chances?
Well, I think the level is so tight. I mean, as Nick mentioned, everybody is very good and they all know how this Gen 3 Formula E car is working. So to make a difference is becoming very tough. Also within the way we're racing, everybody has the same idea of how to win a race or to at least finish on the podium. So everybody's playing the same game. So now it becomes a lot more difficult. Also for the best of the guys from last year, because they were the smartest one in discovering how to race. And I guess everybody understood how they do it. So I think it's becoming very, very competitive. So as to where we're gonna end up this weekend, I have no idea. All I know is that I want to lead that weekend knowing that we've done the best job as possible, the best qualifying, that we left nothing on the table, and I'm going to be happy with whatever we're doing. And if it's a third position and it was the max that we could have done, then I'm going to be happy. And for sure, if we have an opportunity to go and win the race, we're going to go for it. But I think in Formula E more than ever, it's very important to be consistent and to bring good points at home whenever you can.
Just to follow on from that, about that knowledge that's been developed on Gen 3 from last season to this season, do you think grid climbs like what you achieved last season are as possible here this season? Will qualifying be more important?
Yeah, I think it's possible. You need a bit of luck with the safety car situations, because depending on how you start your race, and you need to commit to the strategy. This strategy can be overturned by safety car situation or full situation where a lap is not being added and where the energy target become higher for every other drivers, in which case it might become difficult. So I don't know if it's possible. I hope I'm not going to have to find out.
Yeah, okay. We might have a chance for one question.